I think that at least, I'm not always saying that this is exactly the way that it is. I think sometimes in a civilian practice, in a civilian world, you're more driven by the financial gain that you could potentially get from the field of medicine, from your patients and everything, because the bottom line, is the money that you're going to kind of make to a certain degree. Where I don't feel like, kind of at least in the military setting, that's as much as you have to worry about, because the thing about it is you're paid a baseline salary. So you feel like you can kind of do the right thing. If a patient needs a surgical procedure, or they need to have a cesarean section as far as delivery, you're not going to be driven by, well, I really need to get this person delivered before my shift changes at 7 a.m. So my partner comes in and then they get all the money or the credit for the delivery, and I get nothing, and I was up all night long doing things kind of with them. Other things that I kind of like about it to a certain degree is you don't really have to worry about the overhead that you will in private practice. I specifically kind of look back kind of at the COVID situation that a lot of practitioners were in, just reading news stories and things kind of like that. And it seems like a lot of practices struggled when patients weren't coming to their practice, even to the point where a lot of times that they were practices had failed because they couldn't pay their own bills, couldn't keep their doors open. The one thing kind of here that was kind of nice about that we didn't really have to worry about all of that. We were able to continue to do what we needed to do to get through the COVID crisis, but didn't have to ultimately worry about the bottom line as far as our practice staying open. I have a lot of respect for the service members that I'm able to take care of, and definitely the spouses of the service members that I'm able to take care of. Private practice, 95+% of the time, husband and wife are going to be there together. Husband and wife are going to come to a lot of the prenatal appointments kind of together. And they're always, and there's never going to be a situation, potentially, be it an emergency situation or even a planned situation, when they're separated. Unfortunately, in our patient population, deployments, emergency situations, things kind of like that, our family members get separated, unfortunately, more than we would like them to kind of get separated. And I always kind of tell my patients, number one, I always tell our service members, I really appreciate what they do for me personally and for us as a country and as citizens. But I also always say, I don't think that I could do what they do and be separated as long as they have to be separated sometimes for them to do the jobs that they need to do. All Kansas for me was just a big, long, flat state that you had to get through to get to Colorado. But, looking at the job opportunities and everything kind of like that, I felt that here was going to be a very, very good place. I was fortunate to meet with Dr. Ochoa, one of the old providers who used to be here, and came here, really liked what I saw here, really liked the way that there were nurse midwives working with physicians, working with nurse practitioners, and then really started checking out the area. And the eastern part of Kansas is not nearly the same as the western part of Kansas. And then when we got here, was fortunate that ended up falling in love with the area. A lot of it is one of the things that I felt about, especially this area, I felt like it was a very, very accepting to new people who come into the community. We're fortunate enough to have, Fort Riley here. We're also fortunate enough to have Kansas State University. Both of those, in some ways, have populations that kind of come and go depending on, now maybe similar ages, but also for different regions as well too. But because I feel like because of those populations, that people who are long timers here in the area are really, really accepting to new people coming in. Where I don't think that you get that same sort of welcome feeling in some other communities that maybe wouldn't have the population that we did, because I feel like some of those towns are maybe more cliquish or so, and they don't accept newcomers very, very well. But we got here, I felt very, very welcome. My wife felt welcome from some of the people that she met. My children were able to get into schools, get into programs here, dance for my daughter, sports for my son, and the people that we met, and it just made the transition very, very easy.